Montana, big sky country. Protecting this rugged wilderness is a brave group of men and women. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of the last best place. In Montana's Region 1, fishing season is underway. State Game Warden Chris Crane hits the water.
Floating down the North Fork of the Flathead, we're going to be looking for all kinds of violations. We're here, multi-agency effort with our federal friends. We're going to be looking for, obviously we're still in bull trout waters, West Slope cutthroat, so we'll be looking for any fishing violations, fishing licenses.
West Slope cutthroat trout are still spawning and off limits to anglers for another 2 weeks. Bull trout sit on Montana's threatened lists and cannot be intentionally caught.
We are doing water safety as well, check for life jackets. It's a wild and scenic river corridor, so our agency will be looking at that stuff. We're also bordering Glacier Park, so they'll be keeping their eye on that. The water's still pretty high, so should be fun and fast.
Spring runoff leaves the North Fork churning with potentially dangerous current.
Go ahead. This is boat 1. 44, good. One individual here has a small head injury.
Hey, do you have a life jacket? Does the lady where is it? It works best when you wear it. This river is surprising, okay? Thank you. Life jackets need to be put on properly and fit the intended wearer. Kids under 12 have to have the life jacket on while the boat's in motion, so we'll be looking for that.
During peak flow, this part of the river runs at 30,000 cubic feet. That's 3 times the average summer flow.
My name is Chris. I'm a game warden with Fish, Life, and Parks. You guys, we just need to check some fishing licenses and life jackets.
Today, the warm weather attracts plenty of people to the powerful river.
And I have like 1 year and this is it.
That's it? Well, you enjoy it. Enjoy it. Yep, let's see. So, Brett.
Each year, an average of 9 people die on Montana's waterways. Wardens say many of those drownings could be prevented if people wear their life vests.
Good enough.
It's nice to know some locals. Like,
Yeah, thanks, guys.
I know.
Oh, should be more than that. Yeah.
The other potential issue is the river's high number of downed trees. Locals call them strainers. The trees become potentially deadly obstacles in high water.
There's, like you got this overhanging tree right behind you there. That's called a strainer. You don't want to bump into that because you don't know if you're going to make it underneath it or not. So you want to avoid, you got to stay awake. You want to avoid that.
Near the end of his float, Warden Crane gets a call.
Get that way.
Search and rescue races to the river.
Get the wall. Come here.
Someone reported 2 kayakers in trouble in high water. Wardens routinely help with river rescue operations.
We were floating down the North Fork and we came upon 2 kayakers on the side. They waved us over. One of them had lost their kayak. He was pretty inexperienced. It was his first time out. She was an experienced kayaker, but had taken on water. And so we picked him up and we're waiting for her. And finally, we see her kayak come floating down without her.
Just as the rescue team launches the first boat, officers get a second distress call. A raft flipped and several people struggle in the river's strong current. Suddenly, Montana's emergency crews face 2 dire rescues. Montana Region 2 Game Warden Terry Althouse hikes back to Medicine Lakes in the Georgetown area.
It was the wrong time of the year for that.
See what he did.
Yeah.
Along on patrol, former Region 2 Captain Jeff Dara.
Well, the fish here are just cutthroat. They spawn, this is the only inlet to this lake, and there's some really nice fish that spawn in here every year. This year it's running a little late June, almost into July, and we have a hard time keeping the folks out of here because they're really susceptible, really easy to get at, and some people, of course, have decided netting, shooting, spearing, clubbing, whatever they have to do to get some of the fish. So spend a fair bit of time up here trying to keep them out. Well, we did find some evidence of fishing down here, but I think it's from our feathered friends. The eagles have been in here, leaving us some nice little blood spots on the logs where they're picking off the spawning fish in here.
This is just one way the Wardens protect Montana's natural resources. Over in Region 1, rescue teams have their hands full with 2 separate river rescues.
So we're here at the Glacier Access on the North Fork. We were just finishing our float and had a report of a missing kayaker. So they mobilized search and rescue, and she was okay. Turns out it was the same gal that we made contact with right in the beginning of the float by Big Creek that didn't have a life jacket on. The lady, where is it? It works best when you wear it. This river is surprising, okay? Thank you. Then as I was up there observing, the area is called the Shelf, where a lot of people dump boats. A boat dumped 3 people on the green raft. Turns out the gal actually hit her head.
Both involve people Warden Chris Crane warned earlier in the day.
Yeah, I'm a game warden with Fish Life and Parks. You guys, we just need to check some fishing licenses and life jackets.
Rescue teams pluck the distressed rafters from the swollen river. One paddler returns with quite the bump on her head.
I think so, pretty sure.
Local Mike Rawls sees emergency calls like this every year.
Well, it's definitely something you got to be prepared for. I mean, we always have all our gear in it just in case something like this occurs, always have our life jackets. And yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but it definitely, you need to be prepared for stuff. The water's still only less than 50 degrees probably. So even on a nice 80-degree day, it can be dangerous. No, life jacket's a necessity in this water temperature, man. It's super cold and you can go into shock real quick. So it's definitely something you need to take into consideration floating this section of river.
The U.S. Forest Service worked alongside both the wardens and local search and rescue members to make sure everyone came home safely. Who knows, these calls might have ended very differently had Warden Crane not reminded both parties to wear their life vests.
Life jackets work when they're wearing them. If you're not wearing them, they don't work. So hopefully it worked today.
Emergency medical technicians check the woman. She will fully recover from her tumble. The work of wardens goes widely unrecognized. Today it may have saved lives. Over in Region 2, Warden Joe Cambick readies his mount for an afternoon patrol. He's headed to the Twin Lakes region of the Pintler Mountains. The warden wants to keep an eye on anglers who target trout in this remote area. First challenge, getting his horse across that darn bridge.
There we go. Real smart animals. See, I ain't gonna let nothing happen to you.
Back here, anglers illegally target bull trout, a threatened Montana resource. The warden checks a couple of trouble spots and stumbles on a group of campers. He takes position. The warden watches to see if they try and catch a bull trout.
Where'd that other guy go now? And we got gray t-shirt fishing. And he's packing heat.
The warden decides to check the campers' licenses.
Over here. How's it going? Hi, pup. What's that? We are. We are. How are you guys today?
Well, we're okay now that we made it. Recovered from that hike.
Yeah, when'd you get here?
How long have we been here?
Hour and a half.
Oh, so you're just getting here now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're just getting set up.
These guys are staying overnight. Me and her.
We're walking back out.
Oh, it's all downhill.
That's what I said. That's what. Ooh,
It's no big deal. Did you catch any fish?
couple.
Just caught a couple. We just started fishing.
Oh, did you keep them?
No.
No, put them back?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Well, can I get a good look at some licenses here real quick?
There's two of us here. I lost them once, so we redid them.
Okay, so let me see. They're gonna be the same?
Yep.
Yeah.
You lost them, but you refound them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know about the bull trout?
$138,000 non-resident anglers will tell you that Montana is one of the best sport fishing destinations in the world. Fishing is important to our economy in a way that nearly 250,000 Montanans enjoy the outdoors. So when this northern pike, a top-tier predator, showed up unannounced in one of Montana's premier fisheries, anglers were concerned on how this illegal introduction would affect their fishing. And biologists were once again faced with the question of where did this fish come from?
Our department's concerned about illegal fish introductions, the impact it has on existing fisheries, both native fisheries and other sport fisheries. We have a group, it's called the Anglers Forum. It's a group of statewide angling groups. About a year ago, we started working with them on this idea of putting together a reward program to supplement the Tipmont reward program that the department has.
I just started fishing 4 years ago and got involved in Walleyes Unlimited. And we stress reporting. Tipmont is the place to call, get the boat number, and then let law enforcement, game wardens, do what they need to do. It's just a matter of making people aware that they are being watched by people who are really concerned about what it is this resource offers for everyone.
This is an issue that is really concerning to Montana Trout Unlimited. If we're willing to put in over $10,000 for the successful prosecution of somebody that is caught and convicted of these illegal introductions, it's not just a trout issue, it's not just a walleye issue, it's not just a pike issue, it's a Montana issue, and it's an issue that's going to affect all of our fisheries.
Walleyes Forever, Pike Masters, Bass, the Montana Wildlife Federation, and Foam are also contributing. We're asking for help from anglers and angling groups, the very people who have the most to lose. This is Mike Gurnett, out with Montana's Fish, Wildlife, and Parks.
Montana State Game Warden Joe Cambick travels on horseback to patrol a remote section of the Pintler Mountains. He checks campers on Twin Lakes.
You lost them, but you refound them.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll do you a favor and I'll just keep these ones then, if you don't need them. So let me see those other ones there real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Barbara, that's you. Thanks, guys.
Some fish over there?
Three.
Fishing for bull trout is off limits in this area. Wardens check licenses and make sure people don't keep fish illegally.
Let's go slow. Go easy. I think overall the patrol went really well. And it's going to be, I mean, more patrols in here are going to be necessary as the bull trout start spawning more and they start getting into the creeks. So this is only just the beginning. So it's good for the horses to get out and get a little sweaty.
Over in Region 2, Warden Terry Althouse keeps an eye on a group of campers.
The other one looks like they're huddling around the picnic table. I'm guessing there's more than one pole out.
This portion of Georgetown Lake is closed to trout fishing until July 1st.
Well, let's go get them before it's dark. Hello.
Hi.
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good.
Good.
Catching much for fish down here?
Just 3 so far.
Oh, you got those handy somewhere?
Yeah, right in that bucket.
It's kind of windy out here.
It appears these campers might be getting an early start on the season.
Okay. 3 rainbows. Can I ask you for some fishing licenses?
Sure, sure.
You got them both up there? Have you guys camped here before?
No.
No?
No.
There you go. Have you got yourself a set of fishing regulations?
We
like
do.
these?
Yes.
Okay. And did you look up Georgetown Lake?
Unfortunately, no. We haven't yet.
Okay. Well, we do have a little bit of an issue, which is why I needed to talk to you. Okay, and that's where it shows you that this part of the lake is closed to fishing.
In Montana's Region 5, State Game Warden Paul Lupke works the Stillwater River.
So we're going to just simply work the river. Check the Stillwater River, which is starting to clear up after a really long runoff. It's just now starting to get fishable, so there's people out. You can see there's campers and stuff out, so it's finally summer.
Mountain snow slowly melts and feeds Montana's rivers. That means the Stillwater runs cold and fast.
Yeah, it's blasting pretty good.
Wardens routinely check boaters to ensure their safety on potentially dangerous water.
Is it fun? Fish biting? Yeah? What beautiful water, though, huh? Yeah. Well, when you guys get that all secured, we'll just check some fishing licenses and life jackets, and you'll be good. And the boat looks like it's still inflated, so it doesn't have any holes in it or anything like that. And you got the season license, looks like. Yep. And you got 3 life jackets on board there. We can. That's all I need to see, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You bet. Have a nice one. Good one. Nice to meet you guys. Have fun. See ya.
Do you generally look at these for where you go, the regulations? Do you know how they work?
Actually, this is...
Over in Region 2, Warden Terry Althouse works a case on Georgetown Lake. The warden spotted these 2 campers illegally fishing in an area off limits this time of year.
But one of the concerns we have here is we do have part of the lake closed for spawning.
Okay.
And you're in that part of the lake.
Oh, very well.
Well, let's look, because here's a small version of the map. This is one, and I've been handing these out, and it lays just like this. So as you go back this way, you get back on the pavement. If you go over here, and here's the highway to Anaconda. Every year, the people are wanting us to keep folks out of the spawning fish during that season.
Okay.
So they're pretty protective of it, and they're after us to get up here and keep people out of there.
Oh, for sure.
What I'm hearing here is I'm pretty certain this is not a deliberate choice to just go do something.
Oh, no. No.
But there is some responsibility on your part to read the signs and the regulations, too.
Yes.
So what I've been doing with these is I've been issuing a more minor violation if I think that's the case, as opposed to somebody doing it deliberately. All right, well, give me a few minutes here, you guys, and you might want to... The other thing we're going to not do is the fish are illegal, too. but we're not going to address that here. Could be. I'm just pointing that out so it gives you more emphasis on looking at the regulations and knowing them. So you guys make good use of those fish and just promise me you'll do better. You staying warm?
It's so wet last night. We couldn't even get a fire.
Oh, really? Seems like you got a bunch of wood.
The warden cuts these anglers a little slack. He hopes leniency and a minor ticket might be the best education this time. Montana, big sky country. Protecting this rugged wilderness is a brave group of men and women. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of the last best place. In western Montana, deer are dying in untold numbers.
Yeah, we have a sick white-tailed deer. She's exhibiting symptoms to where she's having trouble standing, but she's obviously having a hard time getting around. The horses are not too happy to have her nearby, and it seems that animals do sense when other animals are sick and have a tendency to push them away, and we're definitely seeing that.
This is the 15th call in 2 days. Something is killing deer. Fish, Wildlife, and Parks biologist Vicki Edwards is in a race against time to determine the culprit and save the diminishing herd.
There go the horses already.
Yep. We could try to walk up behind her. I mean, what do you think? We just kind of walk at the horses and...
They may go on then further.
Region 2 Warden Tyler Raymaker approaches the dying white-tailed dove.
Yeah.
Too sick to move, she awaits her inevitable fate. Region 2, Missoula, Montana. Hot, dry conditions have opened the door to the first ever outbreak of EHD in western Montana. Epizootic hemorrhagic, a fatal virus in deer, is caused by a tiny biting midge. So far this summer, Vicki has fielded hundreds of calls reporting dead or dying deer. The public is desperate for an answer.
People are also asking me, is it related to global warming? And I get back to saying, we can't say for certain if it's related to global warming, but we do know that when you have these dry, drought-like summers, we do have a tendency to have outbreaks. We end up seeing these sort of outbreaks in late summer, early fall.
EHD is new to western Montana, and the effects have been devastating. Already over 200 deer have been confirmed dead in just a couple of weeks. Today, Vicki and FWP vet Jennifer Ramsey respond to another call reporting a deer that is suspected to have the disease.
So, can you tell me what happened?
I just kind of looked out the window. My dog was barking, and so I saw the deer up there by the tree, and it had its nose down to the ground. And so I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, I wonder if its nose is stuck to the ground on something. So I walked up there a little ways, and it just kept its nose to the ground and was like spinning in circles a little bit and then just like wrestling around. And so I was like, oh, we'll just leave it, get the dog in the house. And I looked back, and it's laying on the ground, and it's just kicking and spinning and just going crazy.
Kind of convulsing,
so,
and okay.
Yeah.
And about how long did that last? Was it,
like,
10 minutes,
probably
5 minutes?
15 minutes.
Really? Okay.
From the time I saw it to the, when I just left it.
Well, we'll go ahead and we'll collect her, and Jennifer is our wildlife vet. She's our statewide wildlife vet, and she's been with us yesterday and today and is conducting extensive necropsies, and she's got a really good eye, and she's seen EHD outbreaks before out east.
A necropsy is similar to an autopsy. It is a dissection of the animal to determine the cause of death.
We do suspect that it's that, and unfortunately, if it is that, what we need is a hard freeze to get the gnats to die off. It's transmitted gnat from
from the gnats to the deer, and it's not transmitted deer to deer. So it actually takes a hard freeze, and it's probably a couple of nights in the 20 degrees range for this to stop if it is EHD. We're still waiting to get the results back, and we're going to continue to collect samples until we actually find out what's going on.
And it can only affect deer, not like dogs or anything?
Not dogs, no. If it is EHD, you don't have to worry about dogs. It primarily affects ungulates, anything with a four-chambered stomach. That what we've seen though is with whitetail is the disease actually expresses itself more so than any others, and they just can't handle it.
If it is EHD, there is nothing FWP can do until a change of weather. East of Missoula, near Clinton, Montana State Game Warden Aaron Berg is patrolling a popular stretch of the Clark Fork River. He approaches two anglers with caution.
How you doing? Hey, not too bad. You guys catching anything?
Fish.
Oh, yeah.
So what, you want to see your fishing license?
Yeah, man, if you got it on you real quick.
The first angler willingly offers his license to the warden.
How you doing, man?
All right.
You have any luck?
No.
Nothing, huh? Thanks, Christopher. Appreciate it. You got a license I can take a quick peek at?
I don't have one of those.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay. You know you need one, right?
Actually, I think mine's at the house.
Is it old, or is it the green-colored one like that?
Green one like this.
You got a wallet with some identification I can grab from you real quick, please? Okay, so you don't have any identification?
Just east of Missoula, Montana, Region 2 Warden Aaron Berg is checking an angler that claims to have left his license and ID at home.
Okay, so you don't have any identification?
No. At the house.
Am I gonna find you have a fishing license in the system or not?
Should.
Because I'm gonna look.
It should show up.
Okay. So I need to find a way to identify you, okay? So if I can't physically identify you, then we have to go for a ride in the car. Okay.
3050 is plain.
Plain?
Yeah, so.
Silverdale? Washington?
Yeah.
All right.
So I probably shouldn't fish until we find out.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna need you to come back to the truck with me, okay? Do you have any weapons on you?
No.
Knives? Guns?
No.
Anything that's gonna explode and or stick, poke, or prod me?
No.
Okay, all right.
Warden Berg will need to identify the man before he can determine if he has a license or not. When fishing or hunting in Montana, you must carry your license on you at all times. It's also a good idea to carry a photo ID for proper identification. A quick name search uncovers nothing. A second attempt reveals a possible match, but Warden Berg still needs to confirm the angler's identity.
Did you live at Bremerton in one point in time?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your address in Bremerton?
I can't remember it.
And you don't remember your address. I'm having a hard time finding anything that you can verify you are who you are. You really don't have an ID with you?
No, it's at the house.
The wallet, your whole wallet?
I don't have a wallet. It's just my Washington ID.
Do you have anything, are you in his car? You don't have anything with you that shows your name on it?
No.
Did you live in an apartment when you lived in Bremerton?
Yeah.
Apartment B? Do you remember?
Yeah, that sounds right. I can't remember the address because we were only there for a couple months, but he let us use the address.
Was it on 4th Street?
There it is. Yeah, 4th Street.
Do you remember the number?
No, I don't.
The angler's diminished memory doesn't help Aaron solve the angler's identity crisis. further west in Missoula County. FWP biologist Vicki Edwards is responding to a call reporting a sick deer.
We have a sick white-tailed deer. She's exhibiting symptoms to where she's having trouble standing. The horses are not too happy to have her nearby, and it seems that animals do sense when other animals are sick and have a tendency to push them away, and we're definitely seeing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up. I'm going to move the stock a little bit so that we have a safe shooting lane for Tyler, and then we'll go ahead and dispatch her collector and conduct a necropsy on her.
Dispatching deer is, and wildlife in general, is something that we have to do. It's something that no one enjoys doing, but it's a necessary part of caring for wildlife in kind of a bizarre way.
Tyler quickly relieves the deer of his suffering. Vicki and FWP veterinarian Jennifer Ramsey will do a full examination to determine if the cause of death is in fact EHD.
We've been dealing with EHD outbreaks for a long time in eastern Montana. It's almost every summer we're dealing with that at some level, and its severity depends on the county, and year to year it's different, but we see usually some level of it every summer. It's been, for a long time, so it's not a new disease at all, it's just a new location.
The deadly EHD virus can only be transmitted by an infected fly or midge, not deer to deer. This is the first outbreak of it in western Montana, and the deer herd has been hit hard.
Do a full necropsy on her in a little bit, but before we take her and she starts to, bloat and things that are normal, I just wanted to look her over really good and make sure there wasn't any sign of her being injured somehow, and that, because we're still trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. We have a suspect that could be this EHD virus, but we haven't been able to confirm that yet because we haven't got any results back from the lab. So it's important to look for everything until we get an answer.
Halictid bees, Lepidoptera.
Insect researcher Hayes Goosey wants to raise the awareness of Montana's bugs.
Small things don't get the attention until they become a big thing, and the pollinators, insects, are easily to overlook.
Insects make up a majority of the world's living organisms. And in Montana, there is a growing need to look at the relationship between bugs and wildlife.
Sage grouse is the umbrella species that they're looking to use, and so much of it is then put on the bird itself, but from the insect perspective, there's so much that goes on that it's really a major piece of the puzzle. Let's see what we got here.
As part of Montana's ongoing sage grouse research, Goosey looks at the importance of bugs on the landscape.
One is a food insect to the sage grouse, but two as beneficial to the ag community. All these rangeland forbs out here are pollinated through pollinators. They're a benefit then to the rangelands, which then are a benefit to the ranchers that are producing here.
As more attention is placed on Montana's insects, more research will be needed.
In a lot of cases, it's an unknown ground. It's sort of the last frontiers, maybe, of research in a lot of what we're doing. There's so much out here right now that we're doing that's just not known.
I'm Winston Greeley, out among Montana's fish, wildlife, and parks.
It's late summer in western Montana, and multiple sightings of dead deer have been reported.
We do suspect EHD, and we've seen EHD in eastern Montana, broad outbreaks, but this is the first time we possibly have detected an outbreak west of the Continental Divide in Montana.
Before beginning a full necropsy, FWP veterinarian Jennifer Ramsey inspects this deer for signs of any other injury.
Okay.
Warden Tyler Raymaker assists the vet in hauling the deer back to the vehicles. EHD affects white-tailed deer more than any other species. The outbreak of this deadly disease in western Montana is severe. FWP biologists take another call reporting a dead deer.
All right, sounds good, thanks.
Meanwhile, east of Missoula, State Game Warden Aaron Berg is detaining an angler without a license or identification. Berg calls fellow warden Justin Singletary to help run a check on the unidentified angler.
Hey, Justin. Hey, good. I'm actually having trouble getting on ALS. Are you in a spot you could run somebody? I'm trying to line this dude out and stuff. Yeah, he just went recreating up on the Flathead. Went camping. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, I'll give you a buzz back when I'm done here. Yeah, you ain't got one. Not a fishing license. You bought a camping permit for up on the reservation. You went camping July 4th, 5th, and 6th. So you bought the 3-day non-resident conservation license for the Flathead Indian Reservation. But that's it. There's no fishing, no fishing license here. Because we sell those joint licenses. So that's why you would have had a piece of paper that was the same color as that.
It is the same color.
Yeah, if you bought it at Walmart or us, they would have printed it on the same colored paper. But it's a different license type. It's just like you can go down there and buy a deer license and they print it up for you on the same paper, okay? So if you were fishing up there, that's none of my business because that was on the reservation, but if you were fishing up there, then you were violating their laws as far as fishing because it doesn't appear that you had a fishing license for up there either, okay? So typically, William, what we do, it's not the end of the world, okay? We do issue citations on it, all right? You do have to take care of it. There's several ways that we can do that, but I don't take you to jail. It doesn't add points on your record or your insurance or anything like that. Okay, it's a violation of the Fish and Wildlife laws.
This angler will receive a $100 citation, a costly mistake for fishing without a license.
All right, we can roll.
Aaron returns to headquarters in Missoula, but on the way, he makes one last stop to check a popular fishing hole on the Clark Fork River.
Well, let's go see if there's anybody down here, shall we?
Aaron spots a gentleman on the bank of the river. His suspicious behavior indicates something may be amiss.
What's all over his pants? Blood or what is it?
Episodic hemorrhagic disease, a fatal virus in deer, has Region 2 biologist Vicki Edwards working overtime. She is responding to a call from a concerned farmer. He is afraid the deer on his property may be infected.
A lot of the samples that we've ended up collecting over the last 10 days have been from tips from landowners letting us know where they're seeing dead or sick deer. And we definitely couldn't be able to collect the samples we have without their help, so we greatly appreciate it.
You know, I noticed last night when I was changing those sprinklers down in the river bottom, a bunch of deer were standing right underneath that water.
Oh, they were.
Maybe they were trying to get them bugs off them.
Get the bugs off of them and cool off a little bit. The ones that we've got bedded down there, they appear healthy, but we do have a couple that aren't standing up just yet. Boy, that one looks like it's been scavenged pretty good.
Yeah.
Boy, I think they actually look pretty good.
Vicki determines that this herd appears to be fine for now.
Give us a call if you need anything else.
We'll keep our eyeballs peeled, and all the neighbors are watching, so.
Well, thank you. We really do appreciate it.
The first ever outbreak of this deadly disease west of the Continental Divide killed nearly 475 deer in and around Missoula. FWP staff worked overtime for nearly 6 weeks until an early frost halted the disease. Warden Aaron Berg is watching an angler on the banks of the Clark Fork River. After determining that he is indeed fishing, Berg approaches the man to check his license.
Having any luck?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Started.
Well, that's no good.
Well, it's early.
Yeah. Just dunking a worm.
Just dunking a worm.
Cool. Yeah, right on. Nice day for it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Love it.
Cool. Well, I just saw you from across the way. I thought I'd come over and check a fishing license if you got one handy.
Do that over here.
Cool, man. That's just a receipt. Got some tunes going.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Too loud.
Yeah, conservation and fishing. Yeah, sounds good. This is you, though?
That's me, sir.
Okay, all right. Sounds good,
Got
bud.
my last year's one, too. Or...
Oh, no worries, man.
Okay.
Just make sure and pick stuff up before you take off, okay?
Everything checks out, putting a cap on a long day in the field for Warden Berg. Whether it is responding to a concerned citizen, hunting down a deadly virus, or protecting Montana's natural resources, it falls on the shoulders of the men and women of Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. It is a job they do with pride, protecting America's last best place.